Imagine this, it's 2001. You've released one of the highest rated platformers on the PlayStation 2. Critics love it, players love it, the future of the franchise looks obvious. Make another colorful platformer, improve the graphics, add a few new levels, and sell millions of copies. That's exactly what almost every studio would have done. Naughty Dog didn't. Instead, they took one of PlayStation's happiest, most lighthearted worlds and threw it into a dystopian city ruled by corruption. Jack, a character who has never said a single word in his first game, suddenly talks.
Where the hell am I?
Sorry. He's new to the whole conversation thing.
The bright beaches and jungles are gone. Instead, you're driving through a massive industrial city, carrying guns, hijacking vehicles, and fighting guards that look like they belong in a completely different franchise. On paper, that sounds like a terrible sequel, and honestly, that's exactly why I love it. To understand why Jak 2 felt so different, you have to remember what gaming looked like in the early 2000s. Platformers ruled the late 90s. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Ratchet & Clank, and the original Jak and Daxter were colorful, simple, and easy to pick up. But then, one game completely changed what players wanted: Grand Theft Auto 3. When GTA 3 launched in 2001, it didn't just become successful, it changed the entire industry. Suddenly, everyone wanted bigger worlds, more freedom, more mature tones, more vehicles, more action. Developers everywhere started asking the same question: is the mascot platformer dying? Naughty Dog asked themselves the exact same question. Instead of pretending nothing had changed, they embraced it. Jason Rubin later explained that the team felt players were growing up, and they wanted Jak to grow up with them instead of staying the same forever. That decision completely changed the future of the franchise. It was also incredibly risky, because they weren't changing a failed game, they were changing a successful one. Now, the biggest gamble. Imagine Nintendo releasing the next Mario game, and suddenly Mario carries assault rifles. Or imagine Astrobot becoming a dark revenge story. People would be losing their minds. That's basically what happened with Jak 2. The opening hour immediately tells you this isn't the same series anymore. Jak gets captured, experimented on, and injected with Dark Echo. When he finally escapes, the first words he ever says,
"I'm gonna kill Praxis!"
That line shocked players, not because it was violent, but because Jak actually spoke. In the first game, he was a silent protagonist. He never spoke. And then suddenly, he had personality, emotion, and anger. That emotional shift completely changed the tone of the series, and it worked far better than most people expected. Now, Haven City. I honestly think Haven City deserved way more credit than it gets. Most people remember guns or Dark Jak. For me, the city was the real star. Today, open worlds are everywhere. Back then, they weren't, especially on PlayStation 2. Haven City wasn't just another collection of levels connected by loading screens. It felt like one giant place. You could drive from district to district without constantly stopping to load new areas. NPCs filled the streets, flying vehicles crossed above your head. Guards chased you if you caused trouble. Different districts had completely different atmospheres. You had rich areas, industrial zones, and slums. The city actually felt like it had history. Was it perfect? Not even close. Getting lost was easy, the minimap wasn't always helpful, some missions became frustrating simply because of the travel. But I honestly think that's the part of why Haven City feels memorable today. It wasn't trying to be convenient, it was trying to feel like a real city. Now, I want to talk about the checkpoints. If there's one thing almost every Jak 2 player remembers, it's dying. A lot. Not because the combat was impossible, not because the platforming was unfair, but because of those checkpoints. Today, games are incredibly forgiving. Miss a jump, you're back in 2 seconds. You lose a fight, the game usually restarts you right outside the arena. Jak 2 didn't care. I still remember getting to the end of the mission, seeing my health bar almost empty, and thinking, please just give me a checkpoint. It never came. The game simply expected you to do it again, and again, and again. Looking back at it, it almost sounds ridiculous. Some of those missions would have been completely different experiences with modern checkpoint systems, but maybe that's exactly why people still remember them. You learned the enemy pattern, you memorized the level, you figured out where every mistake happened, and eventually you got through it. There were definitely moments where it crossed the line between challenging and frustrating, but 20 years later, people still talk about those missions. Not because they were easy, but because they survived them. Also, the story deserved a lot more credit than it usually gets. For almost the whole adventure, you're trying to stop Baron Praxis while you're working alongside Deimos, Kira, and the mysterious child everyone simply calls the Kid. At first, he just seems like another side character. Nothing about him feels unusual. Until the very end. That's when the game reveals something something that I never saw coming. The kid is Jack, not another version, not a clone, literally Jack as a child. The ending reveals that Samos takes young Jack back through the Rift Gate to the past, where he eventually grows up into the hero from the first game, which means the entire series is trapped inside a time loop. The Jack we played in the original game only existed because the events of Jack 2 already happened, and the events of Jack 2 only happened because that Jack grew up after being sent into the past. It's one of those twists that completely changes how you see the story. The first time I finished the game, I was just so surprised. Looking back, it's a surprisingly ambitious story for what started as a PlayStation platformer. It completely changes the way you look at everything that came before it. When I replay Jack 2 today, I noticed all the flaws. Some missions are frustrating. The checkpoint system can be brutal. Driving around Haven City can still be a pain. This game is far from perfect. But maybe that's exactly why I still love it. It wasn't afraid to take risks. Naughty Dog looked at one of the biggest successes, and instead of making the same game again, they completely reinvented it. That could have destroyed the franchise. Instead, it gave us one of the most unique sequels ever made. Whether you think Jack 2 is the best game in the series or not, I think we can all agree on one thing. Very few developers would have the courage to make a sequel like this today. Games have become bigger, budgets have become higher, studios play it safer than ever. But back in 2003, Naughty Dog did the exact opposite. If you've never gone back and played Jack 2 as an adult, I honestly recommend giving it another shot. You might end up appreciating completely different things than you did as a kid. And if you already have, I would love to know how you rank it. Is it your favorite game in the series? Or do you think the original Jak and Daxter did it better? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a like and maybe even a subscribe. And yeah, that would be it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.